The story of the Oklahoma City Thunder begins long before the name, Thunder, ever echoed through the halls of Chesapeake Energy Arena. It traces its roots back to 1967, when the franchise was born as the Seattle Supersonics. The team was introduced to the Pacific Northwest as part of the NBA's expansion, bringing professional basketball to Seattle for the first time. The early years were about learning and adjusting, as the team struggled to find its rhythm in a league dominated by established powers like the Boston Celtics and Los Angeles Lakers. However, Seattle was a city hungry for basketball, and its fans stood by through the tough beginnings, believing that the team's moment would eventually come. By the early 1970s, the Supersonics began to find their footing. Led by coach Lenny Wilkens, who also doubled as a player, the franchise started developing an identity rooted in teamwork and resilience. The city of Seattle slowly became a basketball hub, with key players like Spencer Haywood making their mark. Haywood, in particular, became a pivotal figure not only for his talent but also for his legal battle that allowed players to enter the NBA before completing 4 years of college, a case that changed the league forever. It was during this period that the franchise laid down the foundation of competitiveness and grit that would eventually define its future identity as the Thunder. The late 1970s brought Seattle to the peak of its early glory. The 1977-78 season saw the team transform into a championship contender under coach Wilkens. Players like Dennis Johnson, Jack Sikma, Gus Williams, and Fred Brown formed a dynamic core that could challenge any opponent. In 1978, they reached the NBA Finals but fell short against the Washington Bullets. However, the loss only fueled their determination, and the following year, they returned with vengeance. In the 1978-79 season, the Supersonics captured their first and only NBA championship, defeating the Bullets in a rematch. The victory brought immense joy to the city, making the Supersonics a symbol of pride and passion for Seattle's sports culture. The 1980s were a decade of transition and trials. The team remained competitive but struggled to reclaim the glory of their championship run. Still, stars like Jack Sikma and Tom Chambers kept the team relevant, and Seattle remained a respected name in the league. By the late 1980s, the Sonics began rebuilding once again, drafting young talent and adjusting their strategy to meet the evolving nature of the NBA. The 1989 draft brought a pivotal moment in the franchise's future, the selection of Shawn Kemp, an explosive and athletic forward who would become one of the most electrifying players of his era. Soon after, Gary Payton joined the team in 1990, giving Seattle a fierce and charismatic point guard known for his defensive prowess and unrelenting energy. The pairing of Kemp and Payton in the 1990s turned Seattle into one of the most exciting teams. The 2010s marked a defining era for the Oklahoma City Thunder, an organization still young but already burning bright with potential. After their electric rise to the NBA Finals in 2012, the team had solidified itself as a powerhouse built around the extraordinary trio of Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. But in the wake of that finals loss to the Miami Heat, the front office faced one of the most difficult decisions in franchise history, a decision that would change the direction of the team for the next decade. When the Thunder traded James Harden to the Houston Rockets, the move sent shockwaves through the league. It was a bold financial and basketball decision, one made in the hopes of maintaining long-term balance, but it also marked the end of one of the most exciting young cores the NBA had ever seen. Still, Durant and Westbrook were enough to keep Oklahoma City among the elite. In the following seasons, the Thunder became synonymous with relentless energy, fast breaks that left opponents breathless, and a culture that revolved around hard work and resilience. Westbrook's fearless play and Durant's smooth, unguardable scoring made the team a constant threat in the Western Conference. In 2014, Durant captured the NBA MVP award, delivering his unforgettable, "You the real MVP," speech that melted hearts across the basketball world. His humility and loyalty to Oklahoma City became legendary, while Westbrook's fiery intensity pushed the team to fight through adversity time and again. Together, they embodied the city's spirit, tough, determined, and passionate. But the path to glory was filled with heartbreak. Injuries began to haunt the team, stealing crucial opportunities. In 2013, Westbrook suffered a torn meniscus during the playoffs, derailing what had looked like a promising championship run. The following season saw more misfortune, with both stars missing significant time. Despite the setbacks, Oklahoma City refused to fade into mediocrity. The team adapted, evolving its roster around its core stars while maintaining an identity of speed and aggression. Serge Ibaka's defensive dominance, Steven Adams' grit, and a rotating cast of role players gave the Thunder an edge that few could match. By 2016, the Thunder had returned to the top of the league, with a renewed focus and hunger. That postseason run remains one of the most memorable in NBA history. Facing off against the record-breaking 73-win Golden State Warriors, Oklahoma City came within a single game of reaching the finals once more. Up 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals, the Thunder seemed poised to complete a historic upset. Durant and Westbrook were dazzling, the team's defense stifling. But the Warriors, led by Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, mounted a comeback for the ages. Thompson's Game 6 performance, raining down threes with impossible precision, crushed the Thunder's hopes. The loss was devastating, and though the team had played brilliantly. As the Thunder entered the 2020s, the team embraced a bold and patient rebuild, one that prioritized youth, player development, and long-term vision over short-term results. The days of star-studded lineups and championship expectations gave way to a quieter, more methodical pursuit of growth. Yet beneath the surface, something remarkable was taking shape. With Shai Gilgeous-Alexander emerging as the franchise's new leader, Oklahoma City began crafting a foundation that would eventually elevate them back among the league's elite. Gilgeous-Alexander, often called SGA, wasn't just another talented guard, he was the embodiment of calm confidence and adaptability. His game had a rare rhythm, smooth, efficient, and deceptively lethal. He didn't rely on brute athleticism or flashy moves but on intelligence, patience, and precision. Every season, his numbers improved, and his understanding of the game deepened. Under head coach Mark Daigneault, the Thunder cultivated a culture of selflessness and relentless work ethic. There was no rush to chase wins, no panic after losses, only steady growth, game by game, practice by practice. Meanwhile, General Manager Sam Presti continued his masterclass in roster building. With a treasure trove of draft picks, the Thunder scouted and drafted players who fit their philosophy, high IQ, versatile, and unafraid of hard work. Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Josh Giddey, and other rising stars formed a core that blended creativity with discipline. The team's vision was clear, a modern, positionless brand of basketball where everyone could handle the ball, switch on defense, and contribute on offense. It wasn't built around one superstar's dominance but around collective intelligence and trust. The 2022-23 season became a turning point. Although still viewed as a rebuilding team, the Thunder began to surprise opponents with their poise and chemistry. Gilgeous-Alexander elevated his play to an All-NBA level, averaging over 30 points per game while maintaining efficiency that rivaled the league's best scorers. His fearlessness in clutch moments and unshakable calm became infectious. The Thunder narrowly missed the playoffs but captured the league's attention as one of the most promising young teams in basketball. Fans could sense it, the dawn of something special was near. By 2023-24, that potential blossomed into reality. With Holmgren returning from injury, Giddey refining his playmaking, and Jalen Williams becoming a versatile two-way force, the Thunder transformed into a powerhouse almost overnight. The roster's balance, combined with Daigneault's tactical brilliance, made them a nightmare to play against. They moved the ball fluidly, defended with discipline, and played with the joy of a team that loved the game and each other. The rebuild that once seemed endless now stood as one of the fastest and most impressive turnarounds in modern NBA history. The Thunder's ascent wasn't just about talent.